Well, an undeniably great cricketer. I don't know whether you've got the statistics there, the graphic of his career. And, you know, great is an overused word sometimes in the commentary box and by us. But I think he's an undeniably great cricketer for England. 167 games, 602 wickets. That performance of 8 for 15 at Trent Bridge, the defining one. I know he talked about the Johannesburg one where he felt that he was at his best in a very hostile atmosphere. But 8 for 15 home ground against Australia, an absolutely defining performance of his career.
We've sort of said it before, but in terms of England's Ashes cricketers in the history of the Ashes, he'd rate extremely highly there, wouldn't he?
Well, he's got more Ashes wickets than anybody else in an England shirt. He himself says the Ashes have brought out the best in him. I think that's why he, in the end, decided to go here. I think it's a good decision, by the way. It's the one thing that every cricketer is in control of when they go, and I think he's made a good choice here. The Oval, the Ashes, Australia. He's going to come out and bowl. He might get a great
ovation. The Nighthawk first.
Well, he's going to get a great ovation tomorrow when he walks
absolutely.
out with Jimmy Anderson. And then he's got a chance to bowl England, help bowl England to victory. So what could be a better place and a better time to go out at 37 years of age? So I think he's chosen his moment wisely, and he can look back with a great deal of pride at a fantastic career.
Be an emotional day, I imagine, tomorrow, if England manage to get over the line tomorrow, or indeed on the last day. It doesn't matter, but once that goes, when you've played your last Test match, what's that feel like?
Yeah, I mean, you're done. You know, you're done. But I agree with Atherton. I agree with Stuart, actually. A great cricketer deserves to go out at the top. And it's not just what he deserves. I think the crowd here in the next couple of days would want to give him the send-off. We were doing that chat. We were watching that excellent video Ath did and that piece Ath did. And you could hear once it filtered round the boxes and the crowd that have stayed, and once it filtered round on social media that he was retiring, they were cheering him and giving him massive. Imagine the emotion tomorrow. But the one thing I know about Stuart Broad is that he won't let that emotion get in the way of a performance, because that is what has been his benchmark throughout his career, is that I want to win games for England. And I truly believe that. I hear some sports people say, I got 5 for and I scored a couple of goals, but we didn't win. For Stuart, it is all about putting in performances to win and win Ashes games. When you sit down and you talk to him about the spells he's bowled, it is about, they mean more to him because they went on to win games and win Ashes series. The other thing about Stuart is that he's a very, very bright bowler. I have interviewed Stuart or sat next to him in a commentary box, and he will talk about seam positions and wrist positions and setting up batters and the way he thinks about getting batters out. So he's the complete article, the fitness, the hunger, the competitiveness, the skill, and being very clever and bright about the skill of bowling.
I think that's right, and I hope that video didn't underplay the skill. I was trying to really distill the essence of him as a cricketer, which I think is his competitiveness and his feistiness, and I think he would agree with that. But I think Nasser's right, don't underplay the skill. I know he texted you at the start of the series, didn't he, about how am I going to get Labuschagne out? I'm trying to develop this one that goes away, but I've got to be mid-crease. And, you know, there's a real attention to detail there, which is part of the modern game because, you know, they've got so much information on the opposition player in a way that had he been a generation earlier wouldn't have been the case. And he's also benefited from time and place, central contracts, England's desire to wrap him and Jimmy in cotton wool for Test matches only, pay them a healthy contract post-2015 just to play Test matches, which has extended their career and given them a laser focus on Test matches only. So there's been that benefit, but he's taken absolutely full advantage of it.
But you only mentioned the skill because the other lad at the other end.
Yes, he's so
and that's the thing for him. He's loved bowling with the lad at the other end, and he's learnt so much from the lad at the other end, Jimmy Anderson, and he wouldn't have it any other way, but he's had to live in Jimmy's shadow. And the other thing I've liked is that when Jimmy's either been not there because of fitness, 8 for 15, Jimmy Anderson, we saw on the balcony, not playing, he has to then be the leader of the attack, he does it. In this series, Jimmy's had a quiet series, Stuart will up his game. So when he's lived in Jimmy's shadow, but when he has popped out of that shadow, he's shown us what a true great he is.